day, it's not smoke. Most of it is water vapor, and then a mix of gases such as carbon dioxide and sulfur dioxide. And it's a good thing that all of that is coming out, because that means that the Etna is releasing pressure. So that's one of the reasons for which Etna is not as dangerous as other volcanoes that we have around the world. So instead of saying that it's smoking, we should be saying that it's steaming, like in a way like a big pressure cooker with 4 safety valves at the very top and singing away reassuring.
Good morning. So today we are in Sicily and we are doing a tour at a winery. The winery will allow you to try some different wines. We will get lunch that also comes with a dessert as well. And this is an 8-hour tour. It is through the ship. They provide a bus for transportation, and yeah, so we will take you along.
Because it rains almost every day. We got, for example, 3 weeks in a row last month. While in Caltanissetta it doesn't rain, so the grape will produce less sugar, less alcoholic content. Okay. The other difference is on the temperature. Here is much more colder. We can have -5, -6 degrees Celsius in winter, and in summer easily 40 in the morning, but during the night we drop to 15 or 10. While in Caltanissetta it's hot all over the year. You have to imagine the media in winter it's 25 to 27 degrees Celsius. For the people that use Fahrenheit, it's more or less 105, 110 in winter. In summer we touch easily 42, 43 degrees Celsius, more or less 125, 127. It's like living in hell. I'm not there, so I don't care. So, the grape in Caltanissetta, we say, produce more sugar, more alcoholic content, but less minerality. The grape in Mount Etna will have more minerality, but less sugar, so less alcoholic content. So this will be the main difference. Before we go to the cellar, do you have any food allergies, intolerance, vegetarian, vegan? No. Nothing? None of you? Normal people. Good to know. Okay, this way.
Okay, so if you need to use the facility, the restrooms, bathrooms, just as you go in, you'll see it is opposite. To go down to the cellar, there's some steps. If there's anybody who doesn't want to do the steps, so they also have an elevator. Just let me know. Okay.
We are now headed to the cellar.
You can follow my colleague in the cellar.
We're going to eat lunch here. I don't know where, but
You can wait on the right.
I asked them to make sure we can record it.
okay.
He said yes. I asked him if we can record in here just to make sure. He said yes.
Down because the temperature is more or less the same all over the year. 15, 20 degrees Celsius, winter, summer. Summer a bit higher, 25 maximum, because we open the doors, otherwise the people downstairs will suffer a bit. The first machine that the grapes encounter is the destammer, so we remove the piece of wood from the grapes, which is the most tanninic part of the grapes. And I forgot to say the harvest in the center of the island is in the first week of August because of the higher temperatures. If you delay the harvest in September, you will collect the ashes of the grapes otherwise. So it's just to avoid that problem. While here the harvest starts in the first or second week of September, so it depends by the again by the temperature. Now, after we remove we start with the stemmer. We pass all the grapes inside the soft press, which is the other machine that you see here. The soft press basically, you have to see it like an air compressor with a balloon inside that will expand and crush the grapes. So this is how we compress our grapes nowadays. And after that, we transfer all the juices behind in the stainless steel tank that we have behind you, where we start the maceration, where we add the sulfites, we add the yeast, we add everything that the wine needs to. And the capacity, more or less, it's 20,000 liters or 8,000 gallons. So it's a normal Saturday night for a single person in Catania. the main amount. After 1 month of maceration, if it's a red, we transfer all the juices inside the French oak barrels that you can see in front of you. We have 3 different types of them. We have the small barrique of 250 liters, the tonneau of 500 liters, and the barrels of 2,500 liters. All of them are made with French oak, so we use all the same type of oak, apart from a couple more that we are trying to make with the Etna pine, so something more local, okay? But this would be maybe for next year's, in that case. We are starting to study on it. While if it's a white, the wine stays here, and then after 6 months goes bottled inside the bottle. So it's 6 months and 6 months. All the white in our case does 6 months of stainless steel maximum and 6 months of bottle. After that, if it's the first white that you tasted, it can stay in the bottle for more or less 5 years. Depends on how you treat the wine. While if it's a green lot, stays in the bottle more or less for 1-2 years. Then it goes a bit better. This will be the difference. I'll show you also the bottling this way.
My next question, how do you bottle it?
For the bottling, we bottle more or less 1,000 bottles per day. The total production is 300,000 bottles a year, but that depends by the year. We got, for example, in 2022, we got fires all around this place and the other vineyard, so we lost a bunch of hectares and we arrived more or less at 200,000 bottles. We lost a bunch. But last year was more or less 300,000 bottles, so we're starting to grow again. Now, the machine is very simple, the work. You put the bottle in the beginning, then the machine puts nitrogen and water to clean the bottle, and then the machine pours the wine in the cork. For the cork, we have 3 types of them. We have the classic cork, 2 types, sorry. The classic cork that came from Portugal, which is the biggest importer for the corks, and a plastic one that at the moment we are using for the rosé. It's made with the same plastic that the medic used for surgery, so it's totally fine with the wine. And the difference is that the classic cork, after a couple of years, will decay and falls inside the wine, while the plastic one doesn't. But the classic cork lets you feel the flavors with the nose, while the plastic doesn't. So this will be the main difference. After that, we bottle all the wine possible. For example, we prefer to bottle all the Grillo all in a row, so 22,000 bottles. We bottle all of them in a couple of days, and then we start to put the labels. So this is our way to bottle all the wines. After that, the wine is ready to be shipped to the States, to the UK, now that depends, or to go upstairs in the shop or for the tasting. So this would be the normal thing. One last thing, in the past the family made the grappa. Nowadays you can't make grappa and wine in the same company. You have to have a private company that produces only grappa or only wine. So to avoid the waste of the grapes, we recrush them to make the cooking wine, box wine, I don't know how you call it where you live, just to avoid the waste of the grapes. So we do a second compression that goes from 5.7 to 10.9 of the pressage, and then it's done. And that's all. I guess we can go upstairs and start with the tasting.
Hello? Ciao.
Buongiorno.
Io non Prego.
Okay, so we have some seasonings, some bread and eggs and couscous. Okay, so lunch is over. We have about 10 minutes where we can shop, we can buy wines and things like that. A good thing to know is that they do ship to the US. There are a few states that they cannot ship to, such as Michigan, Utah, Alaska, and Hawaii, I think. But this is Gambino, and overall I feel like it was a very nice tour. The food was good, the employees were very nice. You got 5 different wines and it was very good. So they do have a rosé that they let us try. We did a white, we did a red. And then for lunch we also had some seasonings that you could put into your olive oil for flavor. And these seasonings are for sale as well. And then they do have t-shirts as well. And they have some bags for souvenirs. But yes, overall, very nice tour. I would definitely recommend it. And this tour was through the ship. And it's an 8-hour tour. So from here, we are going somewhere else.
All right, everybody, so we've just finished with the vineyard tour. It's been a really excellent tour here at the Gambino Vineyards. They've fed us, they've given us so many different wines to drink. This excursion has been excellent, no complaints whatsoever. So we'll show you everything else that we get into, all right? And here she comes, look.
Hello. Again, a great tour. The tour guide was great. We drove up a mountain basically to get here, but she gave a lot of history about Sicily, some of the earthquakes that they experienced, the damage from the earthquakes, just things like that. They have a volcano here that is still very active.
Very active.
But the crazy thing is that sometimes they get snow that covers the volcano and they use it to ski.
The volcano is so active, it just had a minor eruption, 4 days ago?
4 days ago there was some activity. Yes. I don't know if they call it an eruption, but there was some activity, yeah. And it was spewing things, yes. But 4 days
That's
ago.
That's an eruption if you ask me.
But again, it's so interesting. And she said that here, the weather, you can go skiing in the morning up there on the volcano where they actually get snow, and then in the afternoon you can go enjoy the beach to cool off.
Exactly.
Like, that is not going to happen in the US. But again, tour, history, all of it amazing. 10 out of 10 for this tour so far.
Yes, indeed. So we'll bring you along with whatever else we do.
They're calling us to get on the bus right now.
Talk to you
Ciao.
later. Bye. Good
Hey,
afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So you know we've been on this tour. Y'all know we're always talking to people. We've met this great family from Houston. So we're going to let them
Introduce
give their opinion on this tour. You heard it from us. We thought it was great. But we can be biased. So now you're going to hear it from other folks.
Yes. Mom.
Gambino Vino. Get yourself a little gangster wine.
Yes.
It was so wonderful. Y'all should do it too.
Hey, make use of the refills.
Yes.
Make use of the refills.
Yes.
Yep.
So y'all heard it from them as well.
Okay, so we have arrived at our second stop, which is the city of Taormina. We are on our own here. And there are some shops and things where you can go shopping and kind of do your own thing. They are known for ceramics here. So we'll take you guys along, show you what we see. The weather here is perfect today. It's probably mid-70s, nice and sunny. I don't know if you all can see down there, but there is another ship in port today. I don't know what ship that is, but I can see the tender boats. So unlike us, they have to tender in. But so far, Sicily has been a nice area. And just another tip, we are parked in a garage, and the garage has bathrooms on every floor, I think it is. You could also test drive a Ferrari if that's your thing.
No. I already trust you, my friend. No, man. I don't trust myself. Okay.
Once upon a time, Taormina used to be a fortified town. That means that it has a ring of walls surrounding a protector. And these walls have entrances, gates. We don't have the gates anymore, but we still have the arches. This one is the
I feel like this is just like most other parts of Italy. Small streets, shops everywhere, same types of items. Yeah, but a nice little tour. Sunglasses. Something I've noticed a lot of here in Italy is these water fountains. This is actually drinking water. A lot of people fill their water bottles up with them, but there's a lot of these things around. We are now in the theater.
Okay for you, I'll tell you about the theater here, because otherwise when we go through we're going to be in the sunshine, too many people, so I'll tell you here and then you can go and explore. So when you go and look up for information about this place is often described as a Roman amphitheater, but in reality, strictly speaking, that's not correct, because this is not an amphitheater, it's a theater. What's the difference between the two? The shows that used to take place in them, but also the shape. Imagine a theatre in the shape of half a cup, half a circle. When you're looking at the theatre from the top looking down, it looks like a big capital D letter. Amphi means all around, from both the sides. You see the show from all sides. It's not a D, it's an O. You know the Colosseum in Rome? That's a perfect example of an amphitheatre. So this is a theatre. We should call it Greek-Roman because it was first built by the Greeks in the 3rd century before Christ. Even though today you're going to see lots of bricks around you. Where you see bricks, that's the Roman part of the structure, okay? So you might wonder, if there's so many bricks, so much of the Roman part, what do we have left of the original Greek structure? Not much. We have, first of all, the position. The Greeks chose a place where there was a hill. So using hammers and chisels, they could carve out all the seating area from the hillside. And they wanted a place with a view. Because for the Greeks it was very, very important, whenever possible, to combine the 4 elements of nature. And we have them here. It's an open air theatre. You're sitting on a hillside, so you've got earth. You're looking down towards the sea, so you've got water. And then when Etna erupts, you've got the 4th element, you've got fire. And then here we have these blocks with inscriptions on them in ancient Greek. They were the seats in the front rows for that section of the auditorium that was, let's say, for the VIPs. Behind this block, so you see a brick wall, brick Roman. But if you look in the lower part, it's not made of bricks, but it's made of blocks of stone. So that's Greek. So in Greek times, this was a very simple structure with the auditorium. The people sitting down were looking towards the round area called orchestra, where the chorus used to be, a group of people who used to sing, dance, interact with the actors on stage. And then there was a stage building that was called scene. We get the word scene, scenery from there, because it acted as the first form of a backdrop. We do not know much about the original Greek stage building, but we know that it wasn't very high, because the people sitting there could see Mount Etna in the background. In Greek times, this place was used for drama performances, comedies and tragedies, because for the Greeks it was important to come here, sit down and learn a lesson. They were seeing drama that were telling them how to behave or not to behave in certain situations. They would leave the theatre saying, now I know much more about what could happen to me if I behave in a certain way. They underwent what we know as a catharsis, a transformation. They felt they were made better people, better citizens. Now I'll show you the changes.
So this theater is still actually used today, and they are preparing for a show tonight.
This way as well, so can you hear me?
Yeah.
I'll stop here because from here you can see what the Romans did. The Romans made it bigger and transformed it into a brick structure. Have a look up there. See that brick wall? That was a double covered portico with 2 rows of galleries. In the inner gallery, in that wall, they had the niches. And in the niches are statues. And above the niches, columns. So they created an arcade that went all the way around, so that more people could be sitting or standing up behind the arcade. The Romans built this big brick room, and the one opposite, to allow the audience to go and sit in the room. And then they